like me, be better than me. Don't give up. Do not give up. I was thinking about this the other day. It was a quote that I don't know if Denzel Washington said it or Chad Bosman. Is that his name? The main. No, what was his name? The guy that played as Black Panther. What is his name? I forgot his name. When he talked, one of them, I could have both of them modeled wrong. It don't matter. It basically said, fail faster. And I'm identifying that I was not following protocol, apparently. You fail faster. And that's not what I was doing. I noticed that I can identify the mistakes and the failures, but my recoveries have not been the best. The thing that I set out to do, it's like yeah, you can't give up, because certain things that I've set out to do over the past few years, everything is crumbling. Everything is failing. And I'm not taking it as the intention behind it was wrong. I just think the plan that I had in place was not actually a plan, or not a strong enough plan to do what I'm trying to do. As a parent, I think my biggest issue has been trying to figure out how to balance my children and work. Like, I used to work so much, and people that was watching my kids, and even my kids personally, would tell me that they wanted to spend more time with me, that they were missing me. And it bothered me, because that's what I wanted too. I wanted to be at home with them, but I didn't select the proper teammate, like, to be able to do that. And that hurt. That hurt. I get it. Some stuff just doesn't work out, but I don't think anybody sets out to be a single parent. I think you try your best, and then there's some situations where it's like, I just can't try anymore, or that person doesn't want to try anymore. And there's just some things you just can't do anything about. And that hurt, because it was like a double whammy. It was like, not only did I not maybe pick better, I also was doing all this working for them. Like, I'm like, if y'all were, I'm thinking to myself, like, I only say this to them, but I'm thinking to myself, like, if y'all weren't here, I wouldn't have to work this much, And after they told me that, I tried to come up with a plan to where I could work and, give them more time. And I'm waking up to realize that plan is, although I've successfully done that, it's only solving the short-term problem, but it has created an even bigger long-term problem. And I think I'm coming to the realization that although I had good intentions, and I truly love my children, I can't really afford to be at home as much as I would have liked to. And I was just so determined to try to figure out a way. I'm like, this can happen, this is possible. And it was okay for a while. And just realizing now that it may not be possible. At least I'm not at least I have not personally come up with the solution. Like, I've tried to create things on the side to, I've gotten certifications in certain things to try to create clientele to where it could balance out my work. It's like, okay, if I have to work 40 hours a week, can I go down to 30 by getting more clients through these other certifications and starting like my own thing? And hopefully, that would be the thing that kind of takes off more, and then I can go, my full-time job can then become a part-time. That didn't happen. And when I say don't be like me, be better than me, I mean, don't get discouraged like I did. I got really discouraged when that happened. And it was almost like, I don't look at it fully as a failure that a lot of projects, like even a project I was working on for a year has just failed. And initially I was getting so discouraged about it. And then I realized that it was ultimately like showing me that this may still not have given me what I really wanted. This still may not have given me what I really wanted or desired. It's like a no, like a redirection. I don't want to have to do this, but I'm like, I'm gonna have to bust this U-turn. Let me see. I can go right here. Alright. Let's go right here. Don't get discouraged. I heard something too about, I don't know exactly where I heard this from or read it, but it was like sometimes the thing that you're fighting to keep from happening is what ends up happening. And now I feel like I gotta make up for lost time. The short-term thing was to be available for my kids and still provide a decent living for us. But long-term, there are things that they're going to need. And although I knew this the whole time, it's like everything comes with a sacrifice. If I had just stayed grinding it out, then I could have been putting towards these things. It's like having all this knowledge, but being in a position where you can't fully apply it just yet. And now that I'm seeing that was a fail, now it's like back to the drawing board, regroup, re-strategize, and also try to grind to get back on track. Like I feel like I'm very behind now because of that, and I have to go a little bit harder. And there was another video that I made, I'm still debating on posting it, but it spoke on burnout. Because I didn't think about all the years that how long I've been working like 2 jobs. If it wasn't like an actual be on somebody's payrolls, like I had the side hustles and things, and anybody that has side hustles and stuff, like it's like work, because you have to market it, you have to advertise, you have to be efficient in the clients that you do have, in hopes that word will spread of how good you are at what you do. And now that none of that has fully come to fruition how I envisioned it, You know, I do feel like I'm taking it back to the top. And I did post a video recently about, you know, you're not starting over, you're rebuilding. And I'm seeing that it's not fully starting over. It's not that I don't have any skills, I haven't gained any abilities or tapped into certain gifts. It's just now it's like rebuilding, restructuring. How do you want to move forward given, you know, hindsight of the mistakes that you've made? And good intentions are not always going to produce the fruit. So don't be like me, be better than me. You know, it's strange because it's like at first, when I first had this plan, it seemed like everything was fine, it was working. And then it was like I didn't pay attention to the downgrade. I didn't pay attention to the gradual decline that was happening. It wasn't until it actually, I'm like, yo, this is looking like not rock bottom, but I could see it. It's like going to the top of a hill, you don't really see behind you. Just like at the top, sometimes you don't fully see on the way back down. It's like you're trying to ride these waves until you realize, okay, this is no longer a wave. Like, or this, you riding them, but this wave is about to crash. So pay attention to those little changes and those shifts. Going back to the burnout. Now this might have been God that places on my spirit to do this, but when I was working my last full-time job, I had noticed I was becoming a bit stressed, losing my passion for what I was doing. And I'm like, you know, what's off here? And I realized that I wasn't as consistent as I used to be with working out. So I hired me a personal trainer. I'm like, I know that when I work out, I feel good. I feel better. I feel like I have more energy to tackle more things. And it is ultimately a stress relief. And the best thing I used to like about it was at the end of every session, being able to hit the bag. It was like whatever stress relief I couldn't like lift out, I would punch it out. And it was like anything that was left over, and I just felt so refreshed and recharged. And then ultimately, my trainer ended up quitting because he was dealing with things behind the scenes that his clients did not know about. But I appreciate it because it gave me the accountability to keep my own balance within myself, where I'm just not work. It's like I can do something, have a very healthy habit to keep myself in check. And then that went down, and you know, I tried to do other things to kind of keep myself, and I'm like, this is not working either. And I think it's those moments where they're so crucial for us, as long as we keep a positive mindset about these shifts and changes, because it's not that what I'm trying to do is not possible. It just may not be time, or maybe the method that I'm choosing is not it. And I've always been a future thinker, and somehow I allow my kids' emotions to override that. And now I'm just like, as much as I love my kids, I kind of feel like I'm at the point where it's like, I can't. If anything, I'm trying to transmute it into the motivation that I need to hurry up and get back on track and get ahead a little bit faster. They are older now, and a lot of people are telling me like, hey, they don't understand, they're older now. And I think they probably said that because they needed you at that point in time. But now that they're older, I think they'll understand a little bit more. Just let them know. And they have been. My kids, that's one thing about my kids, they've always been understanding. Even times where I'm like, how do I say this? And they would regurgitate it back in the most simplest way. Like, Mom, you could have just said it like this, we understood. I'm like, wow, okay, great. So now it's almost like I have to take that fuel of not being around them and really go hard. On top of trying to encourage myself and pour back into myself from feeling low, from being discouraged, and seeing all my plans not go as planned. It's like I don't even have time to be hurt by how to get back to the drawing board. I took a little bit more time to just process all of that and get out what I needed to feel. And now it's like I gotta make up for so much lost time. So I guess I'm just putting this out there for anybody that's trying to also figure out a way. And I'm just one person. I don't know everything. Clearly, there's somebody else that already knew, like, hey, I can't do this. Like, you know, I think also because I work with people I work with the elderly sometimes. And that has been one of their biggest regrets, was that they worked so much that they didn't quite focus on the relationship that they have with their kids. And I think hearing that and then hearing my kids cry for me, I was just like, let me figure it out. And not to say that I can't. It could be because I'm actually letting it go. An idea can hit me where it's like, oh, this is how I can do it. My ideas did not prove to be successful. And although that's like a slap in the face or a punch to the gut, I gotta figure it out. Maybe it's hitting my spirit a certain type of way because I'm supposed to figure it out so that I can help other families figure out a way that might help them. So I'm not fully letting go that it's something that's impossible, but it's like right now I have to let go of trying so that it could, if it's meant for it to come towards me, that it will. Or I'll align myself with somebody that has already figured it out, that could help me to free up some time for other things that I want to do and work on. So it's not all bad. I've had plenty of ideas that I wanted to pursue, but it was just a few that I was just seeing results in. And you know, people have always said, or people that I've connected with have said, like, hey, if you get something and you see it working, then try to keep going at it. Until I realized that, you know, ideally what I had to learn through experience was that it's going to almost gain traction itself rather than you keep applying pressure. And I think when I realized that it's only working because I'm applying so much pressure, this is not really what they meant by that. They meant if you're doing something, yeah, you're going to have to push that wheel for a bit, but once it starts gaining momentum, then it'll be able to take off on its own. And you know, that's why you just keep an eye on the things that you're pursuing. Just keep an eye on them and be able to be flexible, be adaptable. You know, that helps a lot. That helps a lot. So stay encouraged. Don't get too down on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. This is also a part of life, figuring it out. That route may not have worked. That option may not have been it. But if you feel that so strong in your spirit, you're probably going to figure it out. Or you're going to connect with somebody that just gives you some type of light bulb moment. Or maybe God puts it on your spirit where it's just like, it's undeniable. Or you realize like, wow, I didn't think about trying it this way. You know, you could have the right idea, but it could just be certain parts in your plan could be out of place. Like certain things that how you want to attack it could be off. But letting it go and seeing how it returns back to you, or if something else comes forward, I think that's worth it. So don't give up. And I think God knowing your heart and allowing, you know, take time to pray, meditate, to get some clarity on what you need to do. Because if you have that strong of a heart that you're trying to, even if it's not kids, but just your family, like there are some people that are responsible for their family. There are some people from other countries that are in the United States trying to send money back for their family, and they're trying to figure out how can I create more, because now I have a family here and I still want to take care of family there. Like, everybody's going through it in their own way. It's not just for parents. Like, these are people that don't have kids, but they have, you know, their own parents that they're trying to help and take care of. So don't be discouraged. You're not starting over, you're rebuilding. I think that's going to be the motto that... Oh, I thought this man was about to pull out his piece and start peeing right here in front of me. I was... This is Saturday night, so people is in a drunken state. I think he just finished. I think he just he just readjusting. So I was about to be like, wait a minute. Anyways, it's gonna happen. Don't give up. Don't give up on it. Maybe that wasn't the route. That wasn't the option, but hang in there with me. I need y'all too. All right. Talk to you soon.